Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to another Dinner and a Show review on the road. Brian, and I just got out of a red carpet event for a movie called Unplanned. I know that, Dumbo's gonna take the spotlight in this case, but, I wanted to, cover a movie that, I'm sure not a lot of people are going to, give coverage to. Probably it's gonna just kind of sneak in onto the side, and so not a bad thing. Goodness, okay. Fun thing about reviewing a movie and driving, you gotta, be careful. Anyway, so Unplanned. It's about the story of a girl named Abby, played by Ashley Bratcher, I believe. I don't know a lot of the cast. It's probably the only one I could really remember off the top of my head before this review. So, she plays a girl that joins Planned Parenthood. She, just volunteers there at first, and then she, eventually becomes a clinical director over there, and her testimony, or her story, is that she had to help out with an operation because they were short on staff one day, and so she had to help, but she saw an operation or an abortion take place of a fetus that was pretty well developed, and it broke her down, it tore her up, and she resigned, and now she's an outspoken, pro-life advocate. That's kind of the short run of it. So I know this is probably going to be my most controversial movie I've ever reviewed, which is no pressure at all. It is made by Pureflix, and when I was walking into this, I went in completely blind, didn't watch a single trailer, no ads. The only thing that I was paying attention to was just the poster and the event, in this red carpet event. I was like, okay, what am I getting myself into? And I'll say, what, this is one of the better Pureflix movies that have come out. I mean, granted, most of my experience with Pureflix has been the God's Not Dead movies, and those are more for entertainment, for just them being so bad that, it's like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Kind of like The Room status, and sorry if my camera's being very bumpy. It's because, bumpy roads. Welcome to Arkansas. And so just walking in, I knew that this movie was going to be controversial because it's about abortion, and it's not from a popular side, it's from the pro-life side. And I was, walking in thinking, okay, Pureflix did it, so that means everyone in Planned Parenthood is going to be evil, apathetic, they don't give a crap about, the other side, if they're trying to reach out to the other side. And I believe that this movie actually did. I mean, while it does clearly have an agenda of, being very pro-life, it is, and I'll just be honest, I'm pro-life. I think abortion is a really horrible, thing, and it's really sad that people feel like they have to, do that. That's the only option for them. I can't understand, what, the girl's going through. It's, I just can't. I'm a guy. But I wish that, that people felt like that there were other alternatives to take. And, it's, with that said, I walked into this movie wanting the other side to be not painted as the villain, but as a part of Abby's life. And I feel like that they, struck a nice balance. Because the nurses that she worked with, very friendly, they were like family to her, they were like best friends, to Abby. So, I mean, of course it was going to be, they were going, she was going to have a good connection with them. There's a lot of chemistry with them. I actually really liked a lot of the nurses there. I forget the one. There's a short-haired nurse that was there, and she was really funny. Just her demeanor, her personality. She was very charismatic. I liked her. Yeah, and I'm trying to think. Even the boss, even though she, was a corporate leech, per se, I didn't really hate her. She said a lot of, heinous things. Just, that's probably as close as it was, gonna get to like the, the professor in God's Not Dead. I mean, she was probably the closest thing. But I think, they struck her as, it's like she, is trying to make money for Planned Parenthood and to her, abortions are the way, that Planned Parenthood gets money. So, so when Abby had some problems with it, with some of the abortion methods, of course, the corporate, she was going to be really mad. But yeah, I mean, I really like that, and they also showed, the bad pro-lifers in there. They showed the, the protests, the pictures of, the destroyed fetuses. They showed the, like hecklers, people like, saying horrible things to the people that were choosing to have an abortion. They even had a news report of a abortion clinical doctor, just shot dead at a church, in the head. And it was really, and those are really awful things. And this movie did not shy away at that. There are people, that are not, handling the abortion issue the right godly way. And so that, frustrated me watching the movie. And I will give the props for this movie for being R-rated. I was not expecting that, but they do show, the horrors of like, how an abortion takes place. They, show that happening. They, they swear. They say the D word. They say H-E double hockey sticks. They say piss. So the bad words. But I felt like, and I give it props because one, it's a faith-based movie. It's a Christian studio that's distributing this movie, and a lot of people do not. A lot of Christian movies don't swear, because it's swearing is wrong. You don't do that. But I think that they were trying to bring the message to where, because they're trying to reach out to other people. It's like, what, other people are not Christians. They they swear. So I think that they struck a nice balance or compromise for that. And hey, you know what? The main, like, Abby and her husband, and I don't know who plays him. I think his name's Doug. His character's name's Doug. They're drinking alcohol. What? That's another taboo subject, or taboo thing for Christian films to have. They had beer. Ooh, no. I thought only the non-Christian ones drank beer. Nope, it was the Christian main characters that had a martini and a beer. And so there you go. I thought they did. So anyway, I think the movie branched out a bit, and I was happy for that. I will say, like, so it did look like a cheap movie, just maybe a handful of locations. Lighting, some of the lighting felt unnatural. Like, there's just one scene where Doug, wakes up from bed, discover his wife's not on the bed, or in bed sleeping. The light was very unnaturally blue. I know that blue is kind of it's a nighttime color, but it just kind of felt like it was a light, and someone put some blue paper over it, and hey, you caught us at a film trick, but it just, you're not supposed to catch the trick. I mean, so there was some stuff like that. I think some of the acting was a little hokey, but I think Ashley's performance as Abby was very convincing and powerful. And some of it, and there were a lot of misty-eyed. I mean, there were a lot of people that responded to the movie, emotionally. People were crying, people were angry, people were. I was a little teary-eyed, for a little bit. It wasn't like bawling, but there are a few emotional scenes in there, and I felt like that. So this film did a pretty good job. I will say that some of the music was a little weird. The music choices. Of course they picked some Christian songs, and I think that it was very weird, and I think a wrong choice to have a Christian song, "You're an Overcomer" by Mandisa, play over Abby and her nurse team trying to get a whole bunch of abortions in on a Friday during Hurricane Ike. Thought that was a weird choice. Wouldn't have done that. And I think there were some other music song choices that were just like, okay, we got the rights to the song. Was it necessary? I would have just stuck with an orchestra track for the most part. Barely used a couple of songs, yeah. So it's just weird, but I will give the film props for, showing Planned Parenthood. I was very surprised, and I'll give it huge props for showing it as a, just as, not the evil villain that a lot of pro-lifers claim it to be. At least the people that work there. I mean, the corporate side of things, they made it look like, they were all out for the money, and abortions was the way to get money, so they promote abortions. They don't, and that it seems like the corporate doesn't care about the child, or about the women that are, going through abortions and stuff like that. And then I think characters Sean and Marilisa or something like that. Don't know their actors' names, but there are people that are 40 Days of Life. I want to say that is that's the pro-life company that they represent, and they are examples of the good side of pro-life. It's like how they're trying to find alternative solutions, so that abortion doesn't have to be a choice. That they can choose life, they can choose for the baby to live, and that there are other ways. I wish that they kind of explored that, but you know what? That's, if that wasn't part of Abby's testimony, then it just, wasn't there. It showed the aftermath that they showed it a little, post, after the movie, they do those little, hey, how's everyone doing now kind of texts, and show that Abby, she used to be a one and done, mom, and now she has like 8 kids. It's like, holy cow, 8 kids. But hey, that's awesome. Good for her. And gosh, okay, so my biggest gripe of the movie, I'll say this, was the narration. Oh my gosh, I really wish that the filmmakers felt confident enough in the film to let the movie just speak for itself and not let narration, do it. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. I do not care for narration unless it's like for comedic purposes, like the Lego Batman movie or Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There aren't a lot of dramatic examples to where to where I, thought that it was okay. I mean, maybe it's just me not, thinking of them on the top of my head. But anyway, so that was that. So I guess to wrap things up, the movie is going to have a lot of emotions. I'm sure that, the movie says that, this was not, that Planned Parenthood did not give them permission to do all this stuff. So yeah, maybe the movie will get sued. I don't know. But it will be divisive, and I know that pro-life and pro-choice people are going to have very strong opinions about it. You know, everyone has opinions on abortion, and those are going to just be up for discussion here. I don't think the movie was... I don't think the movie intended at all to cause hate towards Planned Parenthood or the people that work there. The movie has a strong message about abortion and how just horrible and how, terrible that is, and just how emotionally damaging it can be to a person who chooses to do that, and they want to provide a different, like an alternative solution, life, and the movie does not explore what those options are. I think they leave it to the viewer to go research that, which I find it perfectly acceptable, because that wasn't a part of the narrative of this movie. This wasn't part of Abby's testimony, at least at that stage in her life. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna have some rough opinions, and yeah, but I'm glad that they're bringing it up. Yeah, because I think it's a conversation that needs to be discussed. But yeah, I guess my rating on the movie, it's gonna be a high five. I'm gonna give PureFlix a hey, good job on making a good narrative. Very simplistic, and I think that you guys do a good job at creating, when you guys get it right, it's like, good job. So yeah, I'm a lot better than Samson from last year. I'll say that. Gosh, Samson was one of my least favorite movies of last year, so I'm glad you guys did a good job. So with that, this is Brian, and until